ọmọ bá ní kò ṣẹ́rú ó wá sáyé kò ṣẹ́ wọn.
ó yá akéde mo fẹ́ délé bàbá tó bí lọ́mọ.
ọmọ bá ní kò
bàbá
ṣẹ́rú
ló gbanigbá ní ojú ọ̀nà ó ṣe gbámú. òsangiri lagiri ọ̀làgiri kàkà. àkọ́kọ́ arẹ́rẹ́ o. bàbá mi ò wọ kẹbẹ̀rẹ̀ jíjà. jagunmọ́ lòdì ọ̀rọ̀ apá láti jó tọ̀hún tọ̀hún.
All right, hello.
Hello.
All right, so we're now live. So
Sakofi, I think we are
yeah,
live.
hello guys. How are you? Yeah, so how are you all doing?
Great. And you?
Yeah, can't complain. It's been a wonderful day. So
Great.
sunny outside. I
Yeah.
hope it's nice and sunny and everywhere you guys are as well.
Yes. Yes.
That's great.
Mm.
All right, so it's just a wonderful day. I mean, this is another session of
Can I
our
hear you?
grassroots.
Can you guys hear me?
Can you hear me? Yeah, we can hear you. So, Shay, over to you. Shay, can you hear us?
Yes, I can hear you now.
Okay.
So we're still waiting for some guests. Apparently they are not at the backstage. So we might likely just start without them.
Okay.
So let's just try and run while we wait for the
Absolutely.
Okay.
Niger African Master Grassroots movement, and the tag for this, the theme for this particular event, to grassroots talent, upscale them with the latest instruction by giving them guidance, and we have been running this for quite some time now. This has been bringing so many advanced the spectrum of IT. We have been hearing people feedback we are getting from people asking us what they can do in order to increase their capacity of knowledge in terms of career path and so this week we'll be going into the mentorship 3. Kofi, can you help me with the second slide?
Absolutely.
So we also want to thank our support. This event cannot as not help us guidance, and we want everybody, especially everybody out there, those that have joined at this time, those we are still waiting for to join us, and everybody that has been following up with this grassroots movement for the time it started, we say thank you. And more especially, most especially, giving us audience and support in terms of when we need it, and the advisory roles and their support role. We say thank you to the next slide. What is it? What are we trying to capture? What is the emphasis with this part? Generally, is a place where we want to meet people. We want to connect people. We want to bring an environment of networking. Now, what I mean by that is a point at which we bring experts to connect with. I've seen that has been people because of the lack of understanding of the terrain, lack of guidance. They have been able to they are fizzle out with time. Now, um, use this movement as a way by which advise people that those that need to know and to have information about IT, what is happening, because there's a change all around us from the data analytics space, ever changing, and be able to give them. And we also want to ensure that the cloud offering that is all around us is our own meant to advise you to people on the scale of what they need and what they don't. And the essence of this is also we open you in terms of understanding of the digital workspace. What is new about it? So that just everything movement. Now we want to, how do we movement? Okay, my line is breaking. Kofi, guys hear me? I lent my it's breaking
Yeah, I can hear you, but it looks like it's keep breaking momentarily.
because I'm not getting any feedback from anybody.
Can you hear me?
Yeah, I can hear you.
There is a comment that my line is breaking.
Yeah, but I mean, it's okay. I mean, like, it's breaking, but we can still hear
Can you
you.
hear me?
You can go on. Yeah,
Yeah.
you can go
Or is
on.
it still breaking? Okay. Okay.
Go on. It's not so bad.
Uh, okay. Okay. So the other thing we do in this particular event is to ensure that we bring people to understand that we have several groups, and those groups are what we call as user group. And user group is from Azure to Dynamics 365 and Power BI, Data Pass, and also we have the security group. So the goal of this group, and that is why we are here, because our pilot is to be able to make sure that as we are orientating you at the event, you map you group so that you can what you learn and how you need to go about it. And it's why we have all those. So we empower people. Now let's move to the next slide. And the next slide is for try to look at our guests. And we have some of here introduce the host. We have three people that is always hosting this event every month. Four, in fact, the third person, she's not available, but I will introduce those that are available now. I'm one of the hosts, and if you can see technology, I'm also my core area, my core competence area is along M365 Azure, and I also have someone with me that is going to do this program, Sir Kofi. Can you introduce yourself?
Yeah, absolutely. So My name is Kofi Ade, and I'm currently a software TAM. So I'm specialized in cyber security, cloud, and yeah, and cloud as well. So I've been in the IT industry for over 10 years now, and with being in the industry, you definitely learn a lot. You continuously learn all the time. Cloud came to the scene, then I jump on board. I'm also part of a study group with Sir David where we run through Azure series, teach people how to get onto the cloud and use the cloud services. So I hope you guys find the time to join us sometimes. All right.
Okay, thank you, Sir Kofi. And the third person that's supposed to be here, which apparently is not here, is Sir David. He will join us. Is cloud security expert. Is also into the Azure technology MVP, and lead the EMEA for a company, a secure company from UK, and he will be joining us later. Now, other people that's here on the studio that look at uh, and one of them, Franca Ibuso. And let's just go to our guest. Let's invite our guest in. And Deji is not available on the studio, but let's just move to Franca. Franca, can you just introduce yourself?
Hello, everyone. My
Hello,
my name is Franca.
introduce
Am I
yourself.
audible? Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, but there looks
Yes,
like there's an echo at the background.
An echo? Is it okay now?
Yeah, it's better. Yeah, it's okay.
Okay. Okay. My name is Franca Ibzo, and I'm the CEO of Cheska Global Solutions. I'm a Microsoft certified trainer, a business intelligence expert, a data analyst, IT consultant, and a coach. I currently hold a BSc in computer science, and I'm passionate about capacity building in information technology with technical expertise in data analytics, Power BI. I'm also proficient in leveraging data to make informed decisions. I coach people to transition into tech careers with highly sought after um, with that is highly sought after and for with certifications, and we also assist businesses leverage on technology and innovation to transform their organizations into super brands. I'm a team player, results oriented, a self starter with excellent critical thinking and problem solving skills. Also, teamwork and collaboration. I'm key on teamwork and collaboration, professionalism and strong work ethics, communication and leadership skills. Yeah, that's me. Back to you, Shay. Hello, Shay, are you there? We can't hear you.
Oh, hello, Shay, you can hear us?
Shay, are you there?
All right, looks like we're having difficulties hearing Shay.
Yes,
So
audio.
yeah,
Yeah.
what I'll do is I'll go next to um, our next guest for today. Right, so Mercy George. Right, so Mercy, over to you. Thank you for joining us for today's session. So we give you the platform to introduce yourself.
Thank you so much. I think I need to call Shay so that she can be on. here. You're speaking something that is very close to my heart with regards to mentoring as a grassroots towards digital innovation. I'm glad I was here to lend some voice, to lend voice to the conversation last month, and I'm very excited. My name is Mercy. I'm a certified Microsoft trainer on the data platform. The founder of Lentor, the fastest growing tech company that has developed capacity 2,000 trained, 2,000 plus trained, and we have helped almost 155 secure international certification. Although we're not necessarily focused on certification, it's more of the hands-on practical learning in data analytics, design thinking, UX, UI, business analysis, and inclusive of GDPR. But the closest one to me is more of the Agile Scrum, where we have partnership with scrum.org to making the barrier to entry very low for our learners. So I'm very excited to be here. I'm a mother, I'm a wife, I'm a grandmother, uh, playing in this tech place, just letting everybody know that nothing is impossible when you put your heart to it. One of the greatest things that motivates me is this quote: true greatness is not in being great, but in the ability to being great. And that speaks to the core conversation that we're having today with regards to mentoring. It's going to be an ongoing conversation because it's very critical and crucial to have mentoring at the forefront of every single thing that we do. Over to you, Kofi. I don't know if Sheyi has been able to connect back. Sheyi, are you good now?
Shay, can you hear us?
Let me try to get through to him. Just carry on, Kofi.
Right. All right. Thank you. Thank you for such a wonderful introduction. So, what I'll do is I'll carry on with the next slide, which is asking everyone who is have joined this session to take the time to ask any questions you might have, any questions related to IT, career path that you want to take, whether in IT related or whatever career that you want to take. And we are here to obviously give our guidance. We've been each and every one of us have its own path in life, have its own journey in terms of the career we've all taken, right? So any kind of like advice you want from us, we are here to obviously assist and help the best way possible. Right. So I don't know if Shay is now back. Shay, can you hear us now? I think Shay is still having some difficulties. So what I'll do is right. I'll start with today's program. So the first questions we have is, what is your view on education system? So our education system, and if you think about it, it has been the same way for quite a long time now, but I mean, things have changed a lot. The way the world is moving is as it's very fast paced. There's new technologies, new ideas, new ways of doing things. What do you guys think about this education system we currently have? Is it sustainable to help obviously usher the new generation? All right, so I throw that question to anyone. Anyone can actually answer, essentially.
Maybe Franca can go.
Go ahead, go first. You can go first. Mercy. Mhm. Go on.
Number one, why is education very crucial? Why is education very important? Okay, there's a comment in the chat. Education system is going more digital every day, and Africa is lagging behind. According to IFC, it says that 236 million jobs in sub-Saharan alone will be opened up in 2030. That's literally 8 years from now. Now, the real question is, are we really in the space to be able to leverage the opening or the opportunity that presents itself? I would say yes and no. Africa right now is suffering from brain drain. Number one, poor education system. Many people that learn tech skills, I'm sure you've heard the phrase, japa, they are japaing out of Africa. Like you, Kofi, you have japa already.
Yeah, that's true.
So it's because the opportunity itself, it's not very exciting. It's not really great. Africa alone, as at December 2021, we had generated nearly $6 billion investment in just the fintech, having 3.5 billion alone. All right. So if we have generated that much revenue within the continent, and there's a shortfall of tech talent, which is what Lento currently is doing to mitigate against the risk of the shortfall of the tech talent that is not available within the ecosystem. Yeah. Number two, we have local jobs, in-outsourced to technical experts in Europe and in Asia. Additionally, crippling the African continent because we have local talent looking for work, unable to find jobs, looking for local talent, unable to find them. As a result, there is an massive influx of expatriates. Right now, Kofi, excuse me to say, you're earning Charlie's money, not African Ghana cities,
Yeah,
neither Nigerian naira. And equivalent to that, it makes you very encouraged to want to continue learning, to want to continue improving. But what you're improving, it's not the African systems. So my greatest fear is number one, we need to overhaul how we are learning. We need to overhaul what we are learning. Our learning system is so porous that it's a lot of memorizing. I grew up knowing, I'm sure Kofi, you can correct me if this is not true. In Ghana, Charlie, you will hear 2 times 1, 2, 2 times 2, 4, 2 times 3, 6.
yeah.
A for apple, B for ball, C for cat. Now, whereas that's not the situation in Asia, as you know, they start exposing their lads, their young ones, to tech very early on. And that sparks a lot of creativity and the ability to create a lot of digital content that goes into Africa, and we become the consumer of the digital content. Unfortunately, there is a reverse, there is a disconnection, which equally greatly impacts the continent. So overall, with all my going around back and forth, is the fact that there's a big problem. Number two, the greatest problem we have equally, our system educationally has to be overhauled to spark a lot of creativity, to engender a lot of participation, to learning tech. We keep hearing the future of tech that happened 10 years ago. We're hearing it today, and we are still playing catch up. And the fourth industrial revolution is presently catching up with us now. Are we ready for that revolution? Are we ready to be part of what is going on with the current education system that we have? I would say on a very long shot, the answer is no. And that's why we're going to continue having high rate of unemployment, high rate of lack of technical expertise within the African demography, which greatly affects every other thing, as you know. Over to you, Kofi.
Wow.
That was a long conversation.
Wow. Thank you very much, Mercy. I can see the passionate in your voice. So it looks like many of those people that, like, for example, me, we are leaving the continent because of lack of, let's say, opportunities for us to use the skills that we have. And also, even though people are getting these skills, there is lack of jobs. I mean, so they have no choice than to leave. And the system of education we have seems to be just memorization. You memorize things, and you're not really creating people that can actually have like a critical thinking, or maybe, I mean, doing creativity things. Whilst other nations are actually investing in those kind of like avenue. So it's really a tough one. So what do you think? I mean, from my point of view, I think our leaders have a serious role to play here, because they need to create opportunities. They need to lay the foundation to ensure that their systems are in place, system that creates systems that could recognize the talent that we have, the talent pool, and there should be the industrialization to meet the demands of the talent being created. So that seems to be lacking at the moment. And that means people have no choice. You have to probably find other opportunities. And that seems to be what's happening here with the great mass migration that seems to be happening now. That's from my point of view. Right. So
Shay is back.
yes, I think
Shay
she
is back. I think it's in the waiting room. So along the line of you saying the government, even the government, who are we recruiting? Kofi, who exactly are we recruiting? Are we recruiting local talent, or we are recruiting imported talent? Do you understand? That
that's
still
true.
come in with a solution mindset to a very complicated, culturally diverse system. Do you understand? So
Yeah.
it's very complicated, and things have to change. We have to be more disruptive in our approach, in how we are offering the services to people. And the government, it's not so much about the government. I've come to terms with the fact that change can never happen, all right, by the government alone. We need the
Absolutely.
private sector within the government's public sector to all come at a convergence and recognize there is a problem, and we have to solve it collaboratively, like what we're doing right now. Now, where are the talent right now? How can they help us forge ahead this conversation to be able to develop the talent that can change the narrative, to change the conversation, and help our people to learn right and be skilled right to be able to make a lot of difference? So there is no gainsaying that there is a fundamental problem with our education system, where we are buying heaps of books that children are learning about commercial from a textbook. My 9-year-old has gotten a Google certification. It's important to me. I had to train them. Right now, they are the ones managing my social media. And it's not about learning A for apple or Z for zebra. It's about showing them that this is tech, this is what you need to do, and they do it and they deliver. So if I can do it in my own space, I believe anybody else can do that.
Okay.
Over to you, Kofi. And
So,
welcome back, Dave.
so A for apple, B for whatever.
Um,
It's more like some time.
I, I think that gesture, I saw it right in one of the tech ed. One of the professor that I follow, she's, I think her name is Eze Ebu, and she was saying in that tech ed presentation, she noticed our educational system was just adaptive, not creative. And because they are adaptive, all they did is just to adapt what is handed over to them. Now,
Yeah.
Messi mentioned the injection of Chinese method. They started exposing their people to their culture, to their environment, and that also translates to their development of the technology. And it makes it easy for you to learn because you are learning from your native core language, from your native environment. It makes technology to speed up. Now, before we go on, I will also to add, maybe Kofi can run that video. The video is about 5 minutes. so that we all can look at the video and we now continue with the question. Now, Deji has joined us. Deji, can you just introduce yourself and let us know you?
Yeah, thank you very much. My name is Ayodeji Folarin, a Microsoft Most Valuable Professional on Data Platform and a Microsoft Certified Trainer. I'm excited to be here. Thank you.
Okay, thank you, Deji. And I think we have lost Franca too. She's not in the backstage. Sir Kofi, can you?
Yeah, I think if you can go on the next question. I'm just loading the video now to restream.
No, the video is already loaded. It's already loaded,
it's loaded
on
already.
stream.
Okay.
Just check it.
Okay.
Yeah, the last video. Yeah.
Got it. Right. Yeah, I'm just going to play that now.
Kofi, David is in the background.
People's first experience of the system
we have all our
is often profoundly alienating. This isn't the fault of their teachers, but of the system itself, which assesses us for a particular kind of intelligence. We pass or fail on ridiculously narrow criteria. I was lucky at school because I had the kind of intelligence they were looking for: linear, analytical, hyperlexic. It was only after leaving school that I realized, in other respects, I was a complete dummy. I stumble over cognitive tasks that other people can perform in their sleep. I have a close friend who I see as a genius. He can listen to an engine, even on the phone, and tell you the problem is a particular bearing. He has a remarkable spatial navigational intelligence, and even professional mechanics wonder how on earth he can do it. But he was deemed a total failure at school. He was confronted with tests that didn't fit the way his mind worked. I expect you've come across plenty of people like this. People you know are bright, but they're bright in the wrong way. They're bright in the way that isn't being assessed. The truth is that there are lots of different intelligences, and we shouldn't be surprised. During the evolutionary phase of our history, a group of people will be more likely to survive if its different members saw the world in different ways. Some people could make excellent tools. Some people could hunt very well. Some people were good at looking out for danger. Some people were good at strategizing how to get through a long winter. Some people could tell the stories that would inform the next generation. We needed a load of different intelligences in order to survive. Nowadays, we are treated as if only one kind of intelligence is valid. Anyone with a different intelligence is deemed stupid. The way we are schooled compounds this alienation. How did we get to the point that we believe the best way of schooling children is to sit them behind a desk and insist they keep still? Children keeping still? That's difficult for anyone, but especially for kids with a roaming, navigational mind. I've done some volunteering with an adventure learning charity, and the first time I took a group of these children out, we were rock pooling on the shore. Most of the kids had never seen the sea before, never visited the countryside before. And there was one kid who just stood out. He was brilliant. He was there at my shoulder all the time. Whenever I said, "What's this?" or "Why is it this colour?" he would hazard a guess. And they were always interesting answers. He was finding things, catching things, picking things up. And after a couple of hours, I said to his teacher, "That kid is a genius." She said, "Him? He's bottom of the class." If a kid like that is failing, it is not the kid's fault. The fault is with the system. As I say, I don't blame the teachers because they have to teach to the system. Plenty of teachers desperately want to do creative things with their children, to discover their different intelligences, but they are forbidden to do so. If an intelligent child fails a test designed to assess a different kind of intelligence, they become alienated, not just from school, but from the system as a whole. The danger is that they then become alienated from public life, alienated from society, eventually alienated from themselves.
Okay. Now going back to the question that we're analyzing, from what we have seen from the video. Now we can see my curiosity is that we know intelligence come from different forms. How can we converge this intelligence into IT to fish out talent, to be able to use this kind of intelligence to develop people as a mentor? So that's now brought me to the question: what is our educational system vis-a-vis this intelligence we have got from? No, thank you. It was done by Human Sustainability. They actually did a research on how we acquire intelligence, and we are all used to this structural one from school to get to the decks of our table and the rest. But how far can this go with the current dispensation that we have now? So we are saying, what's your view? Watching the video and what do you think we can do, especially in the IT space?
Yeah, hello everyone. Hello, can you hear me?
Anybody
Yeah,
can just
very
give it a
loud
shot.
and clear.
Yeah.
Okay, so hello everyone. So nice to be here. So and nice to see everyone here also. So nice to see Sir Coffee, Mrs. Mercy, Sir Deji, and of course Sasha Yi. So nice to see everyone. So in terms of like my own thoughts around that. So I mean, when I saw that video from you earlier, Shayi, that just highlights to me the importance of diversity in everything that we do, right? So that stands out to me. And in the area of tech, it is the same, right? So we have our communities, but the importance of diversity in our communities. So for example, there is the creative side, right? In terms of like maybe the design aspect of things, and there is the security aspect of things, there is the programming aspect of things, there is the network aspect of things, and the IT side of things. And we must have communities or we must promote communities that encourages all these different aspects that are led by people that are interested in all these different areas, right? So to avoid a situation where we are trying to channel everyone in the same direction. You know, not everyone has to be a developer, not everyone has to be a programmer, not everyone has to be an IT professional working with networks, right? So if your background is from a creative perspective, there is space for you in technology, right? If your background is something completely different, there is space for you in technology. So to me, that's like the key thing that just jumped out at me is, wow, we really, really need to keep emphasizing diversity of experiences, diversity of knowledge, diversity of roles in our space. So that's just my own initial thoughts around that.
Let me
Sir.
come in. Let me come in from the perspective of diversity. Thank you, David, for that contribution. I can't even overemphasize. I'm an executive board member for Women in Agile for Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. And what diversity, equity, and inclusion means to everybody is different. You understand? Different as a result of our background, different as a result of our educational exposure. And one thing that the video said, the speaker said, the orator, he said something that in school he failed a lot. And he felt that it was dumb because that is what the society deflected on him, that he wasn't smart. I'm not a computer engineer. I am almost 50 years old, right? I find myself in this space competing with the likes of Kofi. I feel I'm older than my age to be doing what I'm doing. But for me, I dare to take on challenge because exactly his narrative was what was deflected on me as a human being. That I wasn't smart. I wasn't intelligent. You understand? You didn't factor. I didn't even know for the life of me, I have dyslexia. I had to discover it when I noticed in 2 attempts, I took 2 different exams by 1 mark. I missed it. It broke me up. So the question is for a lot of people, like you said, are you great in terms of bringing design to life? Your skill is highly sought after within the technological space. But were you trained that in school, or you had to discover it in the course of your growing up life? So a UX, UI designer earns an average of $90,000. If you go online, most UX jobs are constantly on promotion, because they can't even find the talent. And that requires creativity. And we have loads of them in Africa, but they don't have the platform. And that's why the conversation we're having, why mentoring is so critical, is so important today. Our education system has failed us. We have a system that has stifled our creativity, our ability to be able to think out of the box and not be thought that you're not smart or you're being defiant or being rebellious. This space welcomes you. It doesn't matter your age. It doesn't matter your background. It doesn't matter your educational qualification. I had a boss that didn't finish primary 6. That is the West. They are not interested in certification. But you will see that it's all about certification. I am certified this, I'm certified that. And Lento, we're trying to break that number. Thank you so much for the opportunity to contribute to that.
So I think I have I want to contribute on this one as well. In terms of intelligence, I mean, one of the things that was very obvious in the video is that it's not one way, it's not one specification. There are many broader ways of being intelligent, right? And in our society, we see that a lot. I mean, it's very apparent in Ghana. Most of the billionaires in Ghana, they are not educated. And even if you think about the IT world, Bill Gates, Mark Zuckerberg, all of them, they drop out because they discovered what they can do in life, right? And still, it's a form of education, but not the traditional way. They still educated themselves to understand what they need to succeed, right? Because education, the traditional education is not a prerequisite of success. It doesn't mean that you have to follow that path to be successful, right? And everyone learned differently, right? Maybe David, you can teach him something now and you pick it up within 5 seconds. It might take me 5 months to pick what David can actually pick up in 5 minutes. But there might be other things that probably I might pick up quickly because maybe for some whatever reason I have a stronger affinity to those things, and then I might pick it. So there are many ways. When we get into the IT, it's extremely broad, right? There's ways that people can actually look into what we have and then find something that actually relates to them, that they will actually catapult them forward in life. And the other thing that nowadays it's extremely crazy. Now there's what Web3, whereby people are making money just going on the crypto path. People are making money going on the metaverse. All of them are creating new opportunities, right? And it's integrating into the traditional way of doing things. For example, with NFT, whereby people are selling acts and other things online, which traditionally it would have been more like selling it on the physical world. So what I'm trying to say is that the traditional way of doing things is not applicable now, right? The way people are learning is not the way that the traditional learning path expected us to. People who have decided to, okay, they have taken it on themselves to pick up knowledge, regardless of, let's say, going the traditional route. They seems to make it well because it's all about focusing on your focusing your attention and also sacrificing to achieve something. So you are more targeted on what you want rather than trying to learn everything. So when you become more targeted, you're more there's more chance that you might succeed in what you're doing because you become an expert in that specific area. So for me, the traditional education definitely is failing because it seems to be pulling us onto a specific path, but there are many ways we can actually take to get to our end goal.
Yeah. So just to mention here, so I do have a question for the panel, and maybe if the audience wants to contribute to this, because I think this is part of the challenge relating to the topic that Shea has brought up that we discussed. By the way, there's a bit of background noise. I'm not sure where that's coming from. There's a bit of background, like a feedback.
I think somebody is playing video, so you might need to pause the
Oh,
audio.
okay. So I'm thinking, hello? Oh, I can see. So I think I can see the reason why. So the slide that was being shared, I think it has the computer audio being shared. So maybe if the slide is shared without the computer audio or something like that, maybe. Or something like that. I'm not sure. I'm not sure what that is. Okay. So, but I think it feels better. I think it's better.
It's better now. Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. So just to mention, so here's one thought for you. So I can see like Mrs. Messi had something about African education system needs to be overhauled. I think a part of what is contributing to this are the limitations of opportunities that we have in the society. So for example, if I'm someone, so I see that in the area of cloud security, for example, I'm a security person. So Joylene, who also works in security in Kenya, we've been trying to develop cloud security communities in Africa. But one of the areas that we see is that many people, very few people see opportunities in that, right? So many people go, yeah, I think I have a flair for security, for discovering holes in systems, for fixing holes in systems. However, I see more opportunities being a developer, right, in terms of what is available to me. So I've got to pursue that if I want to be able to feed my family. Like, how do you see how people get the balance of I'm going to pursue what is built into me versus what is available as opportunities in my surroundings? So I'm not sure if anybody has thoughts around that.
Can you ask the question again, please?
So in terms of people going, I can develop myself in this area. So for example, you take the example that the person on the video gave, right? Someone who is intelligent in other areas. However, the area that they're intelligent in, there's very limited opportunities in the society towards that. Mm-hmm. So they feel like the only way for me to be able to provide for myself and for the people that I love is to try to force myself into another mode. Because if I try to just bring out the creativity in me, there's limited opportunities in my current society, in my area. So I see that in tech a lot. People go, I have a flair for security, but development jobs are more. So I think I have to go be a developer.
I think that's the perfect question on the screen. I think Michael has already raised it. He said, I have a challenge currently. I am an intern, Kofi, do you want to stop sharing the screen? I think it's giving a lot of feedback.
Okay, one
Um,
second. Let me.
Maybe it's not yours. If we try to troubleshoot that, if it's still yours, then maybe one of us need to check if we're connected to the live broadcast and it's playing in the background. So we need to check on our browser because it's very bad experience. So I think Michael said it. So what you have said is a major dynamics. Before you join, David, okay, so it's not the PowerPoint presentation. I think somebody has the video playing back in the background. So there's interference. One of the things that I'd said earlier is the fact that we have a lot of investment in Africa right now. 5.2 billion, precisely, 5.2 billion as at 2021 December. And the chunk of it is going to the fintech industry. Because Africa, as you know, let's not kid ourselves, is the next cash cow for the West. We have the numbers, but we don't even understand. We are all data professionals here. This is a continent, the third largest continent in the world. Okay, we have the numbers, but we're not using the numbers to help ourselves. We are more divided than you can ever comprehend. Does that make sense? So there are limited opportunities. Why? Because a lot of us are learning tech in our old age, right? If that makes sense, David. And as a result of learning tech, there's a disconnect of, I am a developer. I am not an agilist. I am a data professional. I don't understand agile. I am a UX UI. I don't understand data. And the truth of the matter is, you cannot work within a tech sector today for the West, and you're going into a company and just say, I'm just one cap. I'm a website developer, and that's my job, and that's okay. It works in Africa because there are a lot of people that don't have a website where you can buy a theme and develop. All right. But in the West, that's not the case. They need you to be multifaceted, understand what it means to be an agilist, understand what it means to understand cloud computing, understand the nuances around the NFT, because a lot of organization, especially as you know, tech is so fluid, and is emergent in nature. And because it's emergent in nature, what you learned yesterday is obsolete if you are not updating it today, because things are constantly improving. So you can't say you're just a developer or just an engineer and you don't understand what it means, the dynamics it means to work within an agile organization. So that is the problem, okay? And that has created a major gap for Africans because we are like a bandwagon effect. Everybody's going the route of NFT. That's where I'm going. I saw a video today of a guy, some people going to a building where they have plunged in a lot of money into a digital asset that doesn't have a base, and the company has shut down, the website is down, they can't get their money. So we have a major problem. There's ignorance as a factor in Africa. There is lack of tech opportunities because a lot of our leaders are not savvy within this space. And they are so rigid and not interested in learning. So they cannot even transform the organization where they don't even understand what it means to have tech-enabled system or organization or infrastructure. And the thing that really pains me the most is the fact that, the thing that pains me the most is the fact that we invest so much in IT infrastructure. You get somebody to come and install a tool and say, this is going to help the organization. You leave out the factor that means that you need to train your people that is going to operate the tool. And so when you bring the expert and they've gone after their contract, you leave a great lacuna of people that don't understand the system, because once they learn it, they're going to be like Kofi. Don't worry, Kofi, I'm joining you soon. That as jackpot abroad, or as many of our technical experts that have jackpot overseas. So I think that is a great problem. And I'm sorry, Michael, I'll try and address your conversation, but I would say be open to learning. If you're not happy doing what you're doing, You need to step away and do some introspection and find out what do you love doing and start to build competence around those things. That's much I can say. I hope my rambling was able to make some sense. And that's why I think this conversation is so critical. It's so critical to deal with mentoring, where we need to create a pool to start mentoring people on skill that can help change the trajectory of their lives, change the narrative of how they perceive and how to change their future. I hope that makes sense. Deji, over to you. You know I can talk for Africa. Don't let me take over.
Yeah, thank you very much. Well said. But there is one thing I will always tell you. Number one, certification, traditional way of education is highly overrated. And even till today, if you don't have your degree or you don't have a professional certification, people may still not recognize or want to do anything with you. So I would definitely encourage, number one, what you have passion for, let that be your driver. Number two, it might take a longer time, you will definitely get there. So let me just share this story, a real life story, because I've seen lot of things like this. Several years ago, in early 2000, I have a computer school somewhere in Abuju area of Lagos, and this guy came in. Number one, all the staff around, all my staff, they said no, they are not going to enroll in. He wanted to do computer science, but the foresight, you would never want to have anything to do with him because number one, he's not well polished. Number two is you see that he's not, maybe he didn't even finish his primary education, and now you want to come to computer school and be a computer engineer. I said no, this may not work. So at the end of the day, they've actually turned down the guy, and I overheard their conversation, and I told one of them, go and call me that guy, let me have a chat with him. During our discussion, I found out that this guy is actually ready, determined, but I don't know how to call it. I don't want to use the word he has this Down syndrome, but I said, okay, guys, let's give this guy opportunity. He's working in a factory where he's being paid about 1,000 naira per day or less, and he promised that, look, allow me do this training, I'll be paying you this amount every day because there's no way I can pay you in a month. When I calculated what he wants to pay in a day to complete that training, it's going to take him 1 year to complete training. And the training is a 6 months, it's a 3-month training. I said, okay, fine, no problem. Let's give him the opportunity. You will not believe it. The next time I saw this guy around Okota Road in Lagos, he stopped me. He said, I've forgotten. I said, the face looked familiar. He introduced himself. I opened my mouth, I can't close it. He's now one of the best engineers around that area. He owns his car. He's doing very well. His support system, he came up with a plan, like an insurance plan. So you don't need to stress yourself. Sign a contract with me. I will be checking on you once in a week. Make sure your system are in good order. And that's how he has been living his life from the factory into a professional. He did not even study, he did not do all these professional exam. Maybe he did not believe in them, or I don't know whether he has done them now, but I bet you he's doing very well. So please, the type of way we assess people or the type of education we do in those days, people still embrace it. I will not totally say don't bother. What I will say is keep to your dream, keep to that your passion, keep nurturing it, you'll definitely get there. Thank you.
Ofi, can I add to what they just said again, right? Can I do that?
Hey, can you hear me now?
Yes, we can. Yes, we can.
It has been interesting hearing from that person about education system and trying to look at the return by human sustenance and how to balance. So I noticed that is that how do we bring out talent from the pool, because we have a structure already created where you have to. Was asking that I want you to present him to confirm that you have gone through your training, which is natural. But the problem I see is that even that, at that rather, how do we fetch out great people that are within us? Because of the system, we have always the second option. I'll use the story of a young guy I know. I know. The guy was employed in the 40 part Microsoft I worked with. He was employed as a driver. That was all relationship within him and the company. Now, when he came in as a driver, he was working, and the MD then apparently was good at selecting talent. Now, you saw this guy, apart from driving, he has the ability to what? To look at cables, to sort cables, to identify cables, and to make cables work at his own will. That was his.
Deji's network is off again. I think David is back. If I can just chime in, Shay's network is bad. Is it mine? Kofi, can you hear me?
Shay, we can't hear you again.
So maybe I should just carry on. One thing that we're speaking on is mentoring, the importance of mentoring, right? So what Deji did for that young man was to mentor. What Lentor we're doing is equally mentoring by creating a platform where you can learn hands-on practical learning within the space. Shay, I don't know if you're back now. Within the space, Franca today was part of Lentor cohort 1, where she was able to learn practically most of the program. Today, she's a professional in her right in terms of now a trainer. She's a certified Microsoft trainer. So one thing that is clear and is prevalent is the fact that in today's digital economy that is so fluid and constantly emerging, mentoring is very critical. And you cannot use one cap, one hat to fit everyone and say, yes, I need a computer science graduate. A case in point is Zenith Bank. When all the banks were recruiting first-class graduates, Zenith Bank were recruiting third-class graduates. Do you know the logic behind that? The fact that you're a third-class graduate means you're street savvy, you are smart because you went to play, and you finally graduated. They weren't looking for the best. They were just looking for people that wanted opportunity to express. And that's one of the things that Lento has created, a platform whereby you can learn about tech and actually stand tall and be up to and be able to implement what you have learned. Like Deji has rightly said, the traditional way of learning things is long dead. If my 9-year-old can manage my social media, if my 9-year-old can do a lot of the work I'm doing right now because I've taught her, and our mates are not even up to scratch, if my 15-year-old can learn how to drive and be able to document the agile processes for me, then anybody can learn tech. And that's where the Asians have been able to take over the dominance in this space by exposing their young ones into tech from an early age, and today they are rock stars. So which way, Africa? Which way? We're having a brain drain. We're having jobs available, but the jobs is going to Asia and Europe. Okay? Local talents are looking for work. They cannot fit in to do the job because they don't have the competent skills within the space for them to thrive. So it's a yin and a yang. And I say we are the change agent that we can make a difference. Thank you so much, Kofi.
Thank you very much. But I think now things are changing. I mean, people are recognizing mentorship, and also they're realizing that once they graduate from uni, it's not just about, yeah, I'm done. I just have to look for a job. The extra things you do shows like how bad you want it, because everyone went through the same education system that you did. But are you willing to go the extra mile? Are you willing to take on extra tasks, learn skills that, I mean, probably are market ready, right? I mean, we talk about Azure, we talk about Power BI, all these things are new technologies that are coming up that is people are recruiting. I mean, companies are recruiting people for. So once you go through a traditional education, you need to think about it. Okay, how do I stand out from everyone else? Because everyone have done the same thing I've done. So how do I stand out, right? I mean, when you have a mentor, he will tell you, okay, when I finish uni, this the extra things I did. This is the path I took, right? So I think it's very crucial that people understand that, because now there's a lot of platforms. There's YouTube. I mean, you can display the skills you have by doing on YouTube. You can join communities that have a lot of people that can mentor you to craft you to become what you want to be, or even give you their network. So I think the extra step you take is extremely important. The traditional education definitely is not enough. I mean, it's just showing you a path. Even in Ghana, there were a point whereby education is just theory. I mean, you just cram everything in your head and you go and pour and then forget about it, memorization, right? It's not about understanding. I mean, I've gone through the same thing. When I finished uni, even I finished uni here, but still, I was using African style. I just cram it in my head, pass it, boom, boom. I passed very well. That's how we do it. But the only way I managed to learn the skills was by sitting down and say, okay, let me pick up CCNA, networking. Let me learn it. That's when I understood what the teachers were telling me in the class, because now I was trying to understand it so that when I go for an interview, I'll be able to show them, talk about it, demonstrate it. So I was more learning to now understand. So it's very important that we have that sort of distinction, that you pass uni, but you need to ensure you take other things onto yourself, that, okay, I have to go the extra mile, learn new things on my own. All right, that's all from me.
Hello, Shi. Welcome back.
Yeah. Can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear
Loud
now.
and clear. We can hear you now. Oh, here goes your network again. Shi, your network is gone again. I can't hear you again. Wow.
Can anybody hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you
We
now.
can hear now, yeah.
Okay. What I was saying was that right after
Shi, I can't hear you. I guess something is wrong. I can't hear Shi. Kofi, please confirm.
Yeah, Shay's, your voice is gone. All right. So what we will do is, let's go to the next question then. All right. Okay. So for the next question, how should educators measure intelligence? Shay, can you hear it now?
I can hear you, but I don't know whether you guys can hear me.
Okay. Yeah, it's not. It's better now. Yeah.
We can hear you now.
Okay, so looking at the second question, the story behind it is that there was a category of person, a particular person that got into the networking space of IT just from driver. Now, how did this? Can you guys hear me?
We can hear you, but it keeps going off and on. We can hear you now.
I think
Mr. Kofi,
probably you can share your audio and see if it should be fine. Share just the audio.
Hello. So I think that we're experiencing some network issues with Mr. Sheyi's connection. So let's move on to the next question. So next question, how should educators measure intelligence? And I'm thinking that this goes beyond just educators, because one of the things that's come up in our conversation has been around the issue of mentorship, right? How should educators, not just educators, how should mentors, how should they measure intelligence, or how should we be measuring intelligence as a whole? So who wants to take that on?
Hello, can you hear me?
Yeah, we can hear you, Franca.
Wow, the internet is something else today. Wow, I think it's really bad today.
Yeah, so do you want to take that on, Franca? So how should we be measuring for intelligence?
We're talking about education in the digital, going digital. And this is really a role play to show you how bad our internet is, internet, electricity. So we have a long way to go. Yes. Okay, what question are you on now? Or can I say something on?
How should educator measure intelligence? Franca, can you see it on the screen?
Okay, how should educators measure intelligence? Okay. Is it okay to go back to the first question before, or we need to go ahead with this one? Because I was going to say something on the education.
Yeah, feel free to make a comment, Franca. Feel free to make.
I want
feel
us
free
to
to
go
make a
through
comment.
this because of time.
No, feel free to make a comment if you have a comment on the other one also. Feel free to do so. Yes.
Shay, are you back or Kofi? What do you think?
I said, go ahead with that. Franca, I can see so obvious.
Sorry?
Oh, can you hear me?
On your network.
Yeah.
Franca, if you can hear me, you can answer question 1 and 2. Please go ahead before I put in my contribution.
Okay, yes. Okay, I was going to say something on that because the digital education now, actually for me, I because of the COVID, I looked more online, and that's how I came across digital going doing data analysis, Power BI, and I wish I knew about this before now. So we need mentors. I'll say we need mentors to really tell people about, what there is online. There are so many certifications people could go to do and get better jobs. Yes, okay, that's what I'd like to say there. But the challenge we're having, it's we can all see what's going on today with with especially Shea and myself with internet. Yeah. Okay, back to you, Kofi.
All right, thank you for sharing that with us. So we will now go to the second question again. So, how should educators measure intelligence? I mean, I think uh, the traditional way is through what exams or tests, whereby our teachers will put us through this test. Or in Ghana, there's what we call mental. Like early morning, the teacher will just come to you, 1+1. If you don't see the answer quick, lashes. So is that a way we measure intelligence, that someone who can quickly recollect something is, I mean, the most intelligent person, or who can actually go and sit for an exams and pass with flying colors? Is that how we supposed to measure intelligence, or in this modern society whereby things are different to, I mean, the older ways whereby probably industrial age, maybe it was important that those skills were relevant. But in just today's society, should we measure intelligence by how fast we can actually recollect something? All right, so I throw the question to anyone. Uh, Anyone can jump in. Yes, Shay, we still having issues hearing you.
So I hope I can. Can you hear me?
Yep, we can hear you loud and clear. Go for it.
Okay. Now, how should educator measure intelligence? Number one, the best way to measure intelligence is to allow all trainees, all participants, your audience to express themselves. Don't judge them strictly, like what you said. Early in the morning when we are in school, they ask all of us to stand up. Today is three times table. We start three times one, three, three times two, six. And at the end of the day, they will tell some of us to step out and so on and so forth. And sincerely, I am not that good. We're back in school. Let me say below average. And and I know within me that look, all these things you guys are teaching me, I can interpret it in another way. But you wanted me to cram. I don't know how to cram. If you give me a textbook, I will just flip through the textbook and look for pictures. I work only with cognitives. I look for pictures and I try to use that picture to understand the story behind the pictures. So till today, that's still my way of teaching. I just come up with pictures or I come up with stories. So, but in those days, they will give us things to read. That way, you might not be able to bring out the best from the participants or from your candidates. So, what I always say is this: don't just force anything down their throats. All you need to do is once in a while look for things that will still tell you, lead them to that place, and let them play with those things. Let them let them be creative about what they are doing. Don't just let it be theory. Come up with practical. Ask them to do some things with their hand. From there, you'll be able to identify some other things they can do. For example, I have a lot of staff working with me as a team. Now, there is a particular guy. He might not be very good in developing code, but whenever he lays hand on anything, he comes with the best graphics, the best interface. Say, young man, look, all what you need to do, don't try to code, just stay there. When we are done, we give him the code. He work on the UI UX, give us a nice interface with HTML and CSS. Wow, we have the best. Now, but if you keep forcing this down in, till today he's enjoying what he's doing. So educators is don't measure intelligence by their traditional way. Allow them to come up with creativity. Allow them to showcase their ideas. Allow them to lay hands on some things and get it out there. So by doing this, you will see them coming out with other skills that are hidden within them. And you give them the opportunity to smile again. Because when I was in school, it's like I'm dead. They are going to kill me. I must cram. I must know this thing. I go extra mile. When others will be sleeping, I'm there trying to make sure this gets into me. But I know that when they give us practical, forget it. Home economics is a course in school. They ask us to now sew clothes with our hands. After sewing these clothes, I still went back to school and I got lashes because the class teacher said I use machine to sew it. And I was crying. I actually used my hand. This woman thought I still use machine. Look, this is the only way I can showcase my talent. You are still beating me. So it's like, guys, it's not all about sit down in the class and force things down our throat. Let us also express ourselves. Our creativity, let it come out. So don't don't crucify a child for not knowing what he's doing. God has given us different talents, different ability. Allow them explore their environment. You'll be amazed at what they can actually produce. Thank you very much.
Thank you. That's wonderful, extremely wonderful. Creativity is definitely the king here. I mean, if you think about it, how do you innovate, right? The traditional way, if you're telling me that these are the only steps, how do I innovate? Then there would have been an iPhone or let's say internet, because you always have to think outside the box. And the way you do it is by giving people the freedom to think, to explore things, and then you'll be surprised at what comes out of it, right? So that is what is something that is really lacking, let's say in Africa, whereby it looks like we are constantly we have this guardrail, like, okay, this is the only way. You follow this step. If you don't, you'll be punished. All right. So thank you for such a wonderful message here. So, say, Shay, can you hear us now, or can anyone else share their opinion on this question? Yeah, it looks like your mic is still not. We cannot hear you still.
Okay. Well, let me just add this, Kofi, if you can hear me.
Yeah, I can hear you.
Okay. In this part of the country, I mean, the southeast and south part of the country, they have a special way they train young people. Now, what they do, the advanced one, the experts, will bring the young ones close, and the young one will understudy them, not in the classroom, understudy the arts, that business, that trade within each period. After that time, the next thing is they allow those young ones to go out and start their their business. It's not a classroom setting, and I bet you it's a very good way of teaching people. That is mentoring, showing them. Most of these guys, they are not in class where you force them to tell you state and capital, where you force them to tell you something they don't know. And one of the products there today, there is a guy that I still respect today. He produced inverter here in Nigeria. He's not that educated. His inverter is one of the best in Africa. He exports his inverter and he's doing very well. If such guy had been forced, he might not discover his talent. But from young age, he has been learning from the advanced ones, and he understood everything about electronics. You tell him what you're trying to come up with, before give him a week or two, he will come up with that. I was discussing something with him. I'm trying to come up with a device like this, and some people said it's not possible. I was shocked when this guy built something and came up with it. I said, wow. So guys, we need to understand that, look, there are some talent embedded, buried right inside us. We need to give this opportunity to come out. But the environment, the traditional way of education is not really helping. And I hope all of us can actually break off from this and push forward. Thank you.
Thank you very much. Yeah, what you said really hit the nail on the head, because it's really important that skills that can easily be used in real world is really important. Because when you go to a classroom, it's more like a control environment, right? But is it when you get to the real world, you realize it's not, those things might not even transfer to the real world. So if there is a possibility of teaching someone that they can have that skills, and then it's usable easily, that they can use the same skills they're learning, and then just go and set up a job or set up their own shop. Those are very, very crucial. I think Africa need to invest more into that, where we are more into those practical level of things, because our education system are all theory, all theory based. I mean, you might have a professor, but the professor knowledge might not probably transfer, is not transferable to the practical world. So it's about time that we start looking into ways to transition those into um, the world of of work. It's really, really important nowadays. I say, David, do you want to share your thoughts on this?
Okay, can you hear me now?
Oh yeah, actually, yeah, it's better. Actually.
Okay. Sorry for all this technical issue I'm having here. Um, just to add to what Digi said, um, it's good that we have another system parallel to what we have currently in our system. The truth is that we cannot eradicate the fact that certification, education degree is necessary as they use as a measure of acceptance. But the truth is that intelligence is different from just what you have on the paper. Intelligence is how you can utilize what you have learned into things that can change life. And that's the like of Bill Gates, likes of Job, Steve, and that's what they noticed and they made relevant of their time. So what we are saying now that as we are looking at trying to forge ahead into the digital stage, our educational system should have a way to measure people parallel, like a divergent path, to help people fish out talent. Now, from the video, you notice there's a guy there, a lady that could read engine by just listening to it. I don't know what kind of talent is that. You just, and they just said about another guy that can anything about cable. Once he sees it, he knows what to do. And I was trying to bring a story of a young guy that was a driver in my former company. And do you know this guy? Thank God for the kind of the MD we have then. You could fish out a talent from where you are. You notice this guy likes cable. You know, when you say this cable plus yellow plus blue, you can identify it with ease. You know, this thing for us then, we have to go and learn the OSI level, try to memorize it, as they said. But this guy could identify this thing by just looking at that. And he said, okay, can you go into networking? And he said, yes. Do you know till now, from being a driver, he's not a network expert. He's not a network expert anywhere. And I still call him even right now and say, oh, I have a job somewhere. Can you? And he will go and deploy the network to the extent that he got a job in one of very prominent power company in Nigeria, and he's earning big. You can see the transition from being a driver because someone could identify his ability to understand cable. So my what I'm wrapping on my head, I think we because of technical situation here, we might take this thing to the next edition because we need to really identify ways that we can help the system. You know, we must go beyond just the certificate, go beyond just getting people to have one kind of certificate. What can you do? What is your capability in terms of your knowledge draw when you are drawing intelligence from yourself? So that's what I can say. Measuring intelligence, you can do it by actually streamline not just about our normal educational system, but being able to use other means to identify people and their talent and bringing them on same board so that they can. I know the government tries something sometimes where we have technical schools, all the technical schools we have all around, in order to at least mimic education against talent. But how far has that gone? That is just the challenge. So that's my view about this. Okay, Sir David is not there. So let's now go to the third question, and I think we stop at that, and we try and go to the other question the next edition. The question now is that what kind of intelligence should educator employer look out for in schools? Now, most of us here, I know Franca is an employer. I know Deji is an employer, and I know Sir Kofi maybe is also planning to have his own company. I know Sir David have his own company. Now, what are the intelligence we need to look at? Because we um, the push about change start from someone. Now, when we all hear, and everybody that is hearing us out there should understand that in digital stage, intelligence is divergent. You cannot streamline it to just certification. You should also use other means to bring out talent in Africa. And we have so many of them out there. They are just there, but they don't even know what to do. Now, I was talking to somebody. He went to read. I think he studied. Is it? I forgot the course he studied. And when I was conversing with him, I saw that this person has great affiliation to digital and data analytics. You understand? And he has spent almost 5 years, 6 years of his year learning something that is not even what he's passionate about. Now, apart from bringing people, getting them into the university, into the polytechnic, there should be a system that people can use to diverge, to bring out talent. So what kind of things can we advocate here that can make people to sense intelligence from afar off?
Yeah, thank you very much. Franca, are you good to go?
Okay, yes. For me, I'll say that to measure intelligence, educators should pay attention to people's talents, know what they're good at, their hands. And I'll give an example of also, we should hold their hands once we know their talents, to mentor them. Because take, for instance, I'll give you an example of what the Alaba people do. They pick up somebody and they mentor them. The person trains under them for at times years, and later they can stand on their own. Yeah, so that's mentoring. We should really encourage mentoring. And intelligence, because we need to know people's talents. We shouldn't just force people to learn. That's why when we're teaching, the best way to teach is really to tell stories, show slides, have pictures, and it's better than just speaking to somebody, because when the see and the listen, they understand better. Yeah, so and intelligence is not really just on exams. So we used to say that it still is, but they say it's that test is not the true test of exams is not the true test of knowledge. But what else is the true test of knowledge? That's why we need to look at what people are good at, their talents, and mentor them on that. Thank you.
Yeah, thank you very much, Franca. If I may add
You're
to
welcome.
what she said, she mentioned talent, discover their talent. What kind of intelligence should educator or employer look out for in schools? Number one, we have what we call cognitive, we have what we call logic, we have what we call creativity, and so many other things apart from the technical know-how. Now, there's something I always do. I've been able to interact, but not verbally, through different means with my team. When I interact with them, I've seen their passion. There's a guy in my team. The only thing I do with him is anytime we want to break, there's a big problem. I don't disturb, oh, guys, don't think about that problem. Yeah, you pick it up and tell us what you think it can happen. He has a way of throwing out things. He might not know how to solve it, but by the time he tell you one, two, three, four ways, all of us might be struggling to look at that thing. He will tell you five different ways to solve that thing, but he may not know what to do. I just tell you guys, because even when you play game, you want to do some creative work, you want to just get something out. I first of all throw it at him. He come up with lot of options for us to pick from. Then we know, oh, fine, based on what this guy have done, then let's move on. Now, being able, but forcing him to do something different may not bring out that talent in him. So that is logic. The way logically this guy is so good, so brilliant, and he solve problem easily. Some cognitive. Once they look at it, everything about them start to pattern things out and they start discussing that with you. You can always get all these things, not the normal way of doing test and interview for people. Allow them play game. Sometimes I'll deliberately throw out a game and tell them to solve this puzzle and all those stuff. Now I want to see some complex puzzle while others are spending hours, days to get it solved. Some they are so fast at it. Now from there you can discover their gifts and you can always channel it very well, and this will help to solve lot and lot of problem. So the bottom line is try to identify beyond the educational intelligence you are looking for. Try to identify some other skill embedded in them. This can come up through games, solving puzzle, interacting with them, and get them to the field to solve one or two problems, and so on and so forth. So you find that look, they all have different gifts hidden, not just sit down on the PC or write, hold a paper and pen to solve problem. So thank you very much.
Thank you, DG, and thank you for that insight. At least what you got from you is that in order to be able to have ourselves draw out or pilot better intelligence from our staff as employer, that we need to try to look at other means like game playing, trying to make them to solve puzzle, trying to make them to solve some very incisive um, issues, and that will make you to know how deep. Now, there's one thing I noticed that's a very good angle to it. But if you look at it from um, all the spell of it, you notice that in our environment, sometimes we pull those kind of people down, because we feel that input is not too important when it comes to structural build up. This is the CLO, this is the CTO, and we have people that are very talented. Just as you identify that because you are taking your time to look at other means of intelligence. Now, what do you think employers should build into their system? Because there's a lot of them in most of our establishment, but we neglect them. Now, just allow them to do one kind of job. Okay, there's a question here from Abdullah. Is asking I think he said social media skill is necessary to network with potential employer and mentors for someone like me who is lacking in those skills. But with the keen interest in cloud computing, I already have 2 Azure fundamental certification, but need a mentor or any advice, please. Now, this Abdullah sending that to every. I think someone should just take up the question, and why we don't lose track of what we are trying to look at. Abdullah, is a good thing that you have this skill in social media, and also it's a good thing that you already have certification, and that is just the first step. The next step is to get somebody that can pilot you, just as what we are saying here, that we have seen now in our own system that there's a lot of intelligence that comes from people that is untapped. Now, how do we know that what you really want, whether on Azure space, is on the security side, on the Azure space, maybe or is on the infrastructure, on the data aspect? So those are the kind of things we are saying. And anybody here, I think we also have shared all our LinkedIn. You can connect with any of them. If you want something on data, you can connect to Ayodeji. If you have something on also on Scrum and I think data, Franca and Mercy. And if you want something on security, Kofi and David. You can, if you want something on the software as assets, you can connect with me. So we are all here to help, and we have a lot of mentors we are going to roll out before the close of this section, where you see a lot of them and their LinkedIn profile. You can connect with them. All you need to do is just to understand what you want and go for it. And that's what we are trying to say here. That once the employer, when you know what your people is doing, it is easy for you to mentor them to the right direction. I don't know whether I did your to say something.
Sorry,
about
let me quickly add to what you said for Abdullah. Abdullah, please, I want you to hold this. Nobody will help you blow your trumpets. Write it down. Nobody will help you to blow your own trumpet. You might have all these skills, but you have to showcase your skill. You might not be good on social media, but I will employ you. Look for a way to pass your message across. So today, social media is a place where people easily connect. So please let us see how you can connect with people. So get on social media. If you don't know how to do it, learn it. If you can't learn it, pay somebody to get it done for you. Showcase what you know. Thank you. Hello, Kofi, are you there?
Yep, I am. All right. So thank you for such a wonderful session. I think we should be running up. It's already past the normal time. So let's see if. All right, Seshay is out. Oh my.
I'm already back.
Okay, you're back. All right. So yeah, I was just conscious of time, so I was just wondering, should we run up or what?
Although we have so many technical
Issues here.
So let's just roll out our video, the mentor, and we close for today.
Yeah. All right. Let's just do that. Hello, guys. So thank you for joining us on this session. I hope you enjoyed every single thing we've done on this session. So I'll leave it to Say to give us the closing session. Yep.
Okay. I want to apologize for the lateness and also for the technical issue we have. We hope to rectify that for next edition. But apparently, our motivation here is that we want to have a better ecosystem for Africa, for Nigeria, especially when it comes to IT, and for West Africa in general, to have people, apart from just having this intelligence, using it to change our society. So I say, hope we meet you next month rather, and we hope to continue with this and to quickly look at it in detail in our next edition. Bye.
Bye for now.